another episode of Roselle TV. My name is Gerard McCarthy, and today I am with Tom Panos.
Hi.
Hi Tom. Look, I'm so excited about having you on the show. Let me introduce you first. Tom Panos is considered the leading expert on real estate training and marketing in Australia by real estate agents. Tom is also regarded as one of the leading auctioneers in Australia, and you have a full-time job to boot, which is you're the general manager of real estate, marketing and sales for News Limited or News Corp.
Yeah, so I look after, Gerard, I look after the real estate activities for News Corp in Australia. So that's anything to do with our newspapers right around the country, you know.
Very good. Okay, so before we get into that though, I do want to talk to you about real estate because I know our viewers who are very keen on the real estate market. I wanted to find out a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Were you born in Sydney?
Yes, I was born in Sydney. I was born in the inner west. I was actually the hospital that I popped out of was at RPA.
Yes, okay.
At Missenden Road in Camperdown.
Right, yes.
Lived in Newtown and was brought up in Marrickville. For a period of time moved to the southwest of Sydney in a place called Belmore. I went to school at Kingsgrove North, and I moved back to the inner west, and I've lived in the inner west.
Tell me, so you went to secondary school in Belmore?
I went to Belmore Primary School, Belmore South Primary School.
Very good. And do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I got one brother.
One brother. Older or younger?
Younger.
Younger, okay. So you used to beat him up, was it?
Well, he's bigger than me. So.
Very good. And tell me, Tom, did you finish secondary school?
I did. I finished my HSC.
Yes.
And I went to uni.
Okay.
And I stuffed it the first time around, but then I went back to uni the second time around.
What did you do the first time around?
Commerce, and I've got a very bad concentration level, and I got distracted with a lot of things in life, and so Gerard, next time around I went back and I think I did a master's in management.
Right.
And I did that about 15 years ago, and that was very useful because when I studied the second time around, I wanted to study. The first time around, I did it because I had to.
Right, okay. Yeah. So when you finished, so you kind of bombed out of uni first time around. What did you do then? What did you start working on?
So what I did is I went into real estate.
Oh, you straight into real estate?
I went straight into real estate. I worked as a salesperson.
Right.
And so real estate has been if you look at it, Gerard, real estate has been my life right throughout.
Yes.
So it's been real estate salesperson, real estate owner, franchise manager, auctioneer, now real estate media, and I do Sky Business for News Limited every Friday, right?
Yes.
So everything, the common thread throughout the whole 25 years is real estate.
And so where was your real estate office? Where were you based?
So
were you in the inner west?
In the west, in Marrickville.
Right.
And my ex-business partner, he has now moved to Newtown.
Right, yes.
And he operates as Urbane, which I think you've spoken to him.
Yeah, indeed.
So, and the inner west is where I auction and where I live. So the inner west is my area.
Tell me this. You got out of the traditional real estate in terms of the selling and owning an office. What brought that about?
Okay, so I just think at the time an opportunity came up to work in looking after real estate offices as a franchise manager and doing training, and I liked it.
Right.
So I chose to do it. I'm one of these people that if he likes something, even though you might not be doing it, I end up going off and doing it.
Yes.
So it's not like a complicated. It wasn't like a long premeditated thing. I liked it and I did it, and that's how basically I've been doing all my decisions about what I do in work is the likability of what I'm doing.
So there's always got to be a passion for it.
Absolutely.
Right. Very good. Very good. Tell me, one of the things I've heard you say at one stage was the one of your greatest gifts came badly wrapped. Can you tell our audience what that's about?
Yeah, so I got diagnosed with cancer in 2006, and I got treated at the same hospital I was born in, back at RPA,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
So RPA has been a big part of my life.
Indeed.
So I got diagnosed in 2006, and I went through chemo, radiation, antibody treatment, and antibody therapy for 2 years. But the reason I use those terms, Gerard, is that at the time, it was the worst thing. I felt unlucky.
Yes.
I felt, why me?
Yes.
Cancer should only happen to people that are older, that have lived their life.
Yes.
Or why? What have I done that was very unhealthy? Because I generally, healthy.
Yes. Yes.
Not super healthy, but not. I wasn't like drinking every day.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
How has that changed? What was the learning in it for you?
It's changed everything, Jerry.
Yeah.
It's changed. I have an attitude of gratitude, number one.
Yes.
Because I'm grateful, because even today, before we went on air,
Yes.
I was telling you about an email I got from someone
Yes.
that's got cancer, and
Yes.
I'm just grateful that I'm healthy. So
Yes.
having an attitude of gratitude. The second thing that it's changed is I've realised that the most precious commodity that anyone has is time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas the majority of people, like before cancer, I thought the most precious commodity you could have is money.
Yes. Yes. Indeed. Yes.
But money, if you think about it, money goes from one person to another. Houses get transferred from one person to another. If you own shares, you sell them and someone else gets them. But time, the time that we have now is non-renewable. So I've begun to realise that time is the most crucial commodity, and because of that, I try to not waste it.
Right. Okay. So once it's gone, and there's no going back.
Correct.
So it's about valuing time. Anything else from that's kind of a learning for you?
So an attitude of gratitude. The time is a non-renewable resource,
Yes.
and the third thing is that ultimately. Health and fitness should be your most important value, because without being healthy and fit, you're actually not available to actually do the stuff you want to do anyway. So
Indeed.
a lot of
Yes.
people turn around and say, "Oh, like money and career is more important." But if you're not healthy and alive, you can't be at work anyway.
Indeed. That makes perfect sense. Okay. Now I'm going to put you on the spot here. But I know this about you because I've known you for a long time now, and integrity and passion are things that stand out for me about you.
Yeah.
And yet, you're in the newspaper business.
Yeah.
All right? Now, I was at a dinner party only last weekend, and we were talking about advertising, and the big thing was, like, one person made a statement, newspapers are dead, and real estate advertising is dead in the newspapers, and it's only good for real estate agents.
Yeah.
Our audience today, some of them will be sellers. What do you have to say for that? Because I know you would have left if you didn't believe in it. So what's in it today?
Okay, so when someone says to me, like when a vendor says to me, newspapers are benefiting the agents,
Yes.
not the vendor.
Yes.
I like to use the metaphor of the news on TV, and that is that when you watch the news, Gerard,
Yeah.
you're watching the news to watch the news,
Yes.
but you can't help it. There's a newsreader
Yes.
who's presenting the news.
Yes.
And in real estate, if you think about it, yes, you will notice the agent in the ad because they're the agent that's presenting the home.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
But what someone's really looking at in a real estate ad is looking at the house.
Yes.
So the first thing I would say is use the analogy of when someone's watching the news, they're actually mainly watching there for the content of the news. When someone's reading real estate in a newspaper, they're looking at houses.
Yes.
They can't help it. They will see the Gerard McCarthy brand in the ad.
Sure.
That's like the newsreader. You're presenting that property. But more importantly, think about this. If the agent thinks it's important to be in the paper because they think people are reading it, that fact alone shows that people still read newspapers.
Yes,
Otherwise, the agent wouldn't want to be in it. So
Yes.
that fact alone shows that they
Yes.
still do work,
Yes,
doesn't
yes,
it?
absolutely, absolutely. So I guess that what we're getting at, the reality is that online
Yeah.
advertising will obviously draw the bigger crowd.
Yeah.
That's a fact. We all know
Yeah.
that. But there is a place for newspaper advertising. What kind of buyers do you think are looking in the newspaper?
Okay, I think the buyers are different to the buyers that look on the internet. I use a term, the internet gets us the intellect buyer.
Yes.
An intellect buyer is an intellectual buyer. They're very smart. They
Yes.
would become Roselle's best valuer because all they do is they sit
Yes.
on the website,
Yes.
Gerard, like a desktop valuer,
Yes.
and they analyse every new listing.
Yes,
They look at the prices that they're being sold for,
indeed.
and basically by the time they come and give you an offer, they have become a valuer.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
the newspaper, on the other hand, gets you a more passive buyer. So
Yep.
they're flipping through the paper, they see a house. They may not have been in the market to buy a property right then, they were just partly interested. They see a house that they love the facade,
Yes.
and they look at the street and they say, you know what, let's go and have a look at it. They come to the open for inspection on the Saturday. They're gobsmacked at how perfect the home is. They come back during the week, have another look at it, ask for a copy of the contract. Next thing you know, they've registered at the auction,
Yes.
and they're the ones that are the driving force of the high price. Not the one that's more rational, that's
Yes.
been looking at houses
Yes.
after houses.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So I would say, Gerard, that you're 100% spot on. The internet will get you more buyers,
Yes.
but not every buyer is equal value. Some buyers are more important than others.